Good morning. This is your 8:15 daily operations weather briefing. Seeing some very breezy conditions out there this morning. We are currently in the wind advisory, seeing some peak gusts over the last hour up to 29 knots. And expecting breezy conditions with that onshore flow to continue through much of the day. That will help to moderate temperatures, setting up for a much cooler feeling day as we move through our Friday. If we take a look at the current surface analysis, we have this boundary, weak boundary, and dry boundary that is kind of pushing through the area. To the north of that, we see high pressure that's helping us set up that onshore flow that we'll see through the day today. And we'll see that slowly start to drift eastward as we move through the weekend, eventually seeing those winds more southerly as we get towards the end of the weekend, where we'll see another boundary approaching area that's going to bring our next chance for potentially some widespread scattered showers and thunderstorms as we end the weekend. But looking at current conditions at this time, just a few clouds around 4,000 feet and a few clouds at 25,000 feet. Winds out of the northeast, 19 knots sustained, gusting up to 27 knots on the latest OB, and seeing temperatures around 74 degrees and relative humidity is at 66%. Take a look at our current visible satellite. We could see those high clouds starting to stream into the local area, and that will be the picture as we move through the day today, with mainly high clouds around, but we'll continue to see some low clouds around as we move through the day today. But overall, the main story will be those breezy conditions, and expect those to back off a bit as we go into the evening time frame. If we look at the European model here to check out what we can expect over the weekend as we move through the day today, again, dry conditions expected, but we'll keep those breezy conditions and mainly just high clouds around. As we go into the overnight hour, we'll have a better chance of seeing a few low clouds around and possibly some patchy mist as we move into early Saturday morning. But the slight breeze that continues could help to reduce that possibility. As we go into the day on Saturday, we'll start off mostly cloudy. We'll have a slight chance of an isolated shower popping up over the region. The better chance of that looks to be off to the north and west of the local Wallops area, but nonetheless, that chance is not very high for that to happen. So expecting mainly dry conditions as we move through the day on Saturday. And we'll see fairly seasonable temperatures moving through the day and continued slightly breezy conditions, but winds more out of the east-southeast to southeast, so that will help keep those temperatures seasonable and still seeing a slight breeze. As we go overnight into Saturday night, we'll see partly cloudy and fairly quiet conditions with a slight breeze continuing, and then we'll see some slightly breezy conditions continue as we move into the day on Sunday, and we'll see clouds on the increase as well as that wind shifting more south to southwesterly, seeing those warmer, more humid conditions build back into the area, and seeing those heat index values climbing back up into the upper 90s likely. And we'll have a good chance of seeing some scattered showers and storms around. As you can see, a little bit of activity here in the afternoon, and the European model showing some of that activity arriving much later into the late afternoon and more so into the evening. Other models indicating more of a late afternoon, evening time frame with that shower and storm activity. Nonetheless, could see some decent storms out of this boundary as it pushes through. The Storm Prediction Center does have a slight risk for severe weather, so any potentially stronger storms could produce some stronger wind gusts with that and some heavier rain as they push through the area. So if we look at our 24-hour weather risk chart for today, we are currently in that wind advisory, so we do have that red color for those winds that are above 25 knots, and we're expecting that to continue more so as we go through the morning time frame. Getting into the afternoon, we drop down to an orange risk as we do expect some decrease in those peak wind gusts, but still staying quite breezy through the afternoon. So breezy onshore winds through the day today. That's going to help keep temperatures struggling to get into the 80s today, expecting our high just of 79 degrees for this afternoon. Again, partly cloudy to mostly cloudy conditions at times, with mainly just those high clouds around. But as we get into the afternoon, we'll see a few to scattered clouds around the 2,000 to 3,000 foot level. Going into the evening, we'll continue to see similar cloud conditions moving into the overnight time frame, possibly seeing a broken deck around 1,500 feet for the early morning hours of Saturday. We do pick up that yellow risk for reduced ceilings and visibilities with that chance of low clouds and those increased moisture levels with that onshore flow, possibly seeing some patchy mist. So that continues through the morning hours, and we should see that reduce as we get past the sunrise time frame, but expecting our low around 69 degrees, which is fairly seasonable for this time of year, and then winds more out of the southeast to start the day on Saturday. Tides running normal at this time. If we look at our weekend forecast, again, mostly to partly cloudy conditions. Partly cloudy mainly later in the day on Saturday, but overall mostly cloudy through today. Saturday, we'll have that very slight chance of an isolated shower, but otherwise looking pretty slim chance, and more to the north and northwest. Slightly breezy conditions. Seasonable high around 83 degrees and green conditions for our weather risk. That continues with those conditions into Saturday evening, seeing partly cloudy and slightly breezy conditions Saturday evening with a low around 75. And as we'll move into Sunday, we'll see those winds more out of the south-southwest. That's going to bring out those humidity levels and seeing those heat index values climbing up into the upper 90s, while our actual temperature peaks out around 90 degrees for our Sunday high. Again, partly to mostly cloudy conditions, and we're looking at an orange risk for precip and lightning here, with that chance of showers and thunderstorms, especially as we get later in the day and into the evening time frame. And again, some of those storms could be strong at times, with that slight risk for severe weather from the Storm Prediction Center. That's going to wrap up the 8:15 daily operations weather briefing. We'll be back again at 10 a.m. to take a look at the extended forecast. Enjoy your morning.